Guys, some people were asking questions about some butterfly guard stuff, so we'll first go over like a couple different ideas on butterfly guard, and then we'll get into a handful of techniques, some basic, some a little bit more advanced, some you guys have seen before, some maybe not, right? So first thing is when I play like any variety of like this butterfly / sit-up guard, there's gonna be, to me, there's basically 3 ranges, okay? There's gonna be this kind of open guard range here where I'm sitting up and I allow my butterfly hook to kind of be in between my opponent's legs, and I make a cross grip here, okay? This is the first range, and just a couple details about the way I want to sit here. In this position, I don't want to be squared up here with my hand next to me, because Sean can still push me back flat and grab my hand and make a pass. So what I want to think about is like if you've done some boxing, think about this jab and your foot. Your foot steps when you jab, and you kind of steal the space from your opponent to make contact. But when I do that, I'm not square as a boxer, I'm bladed. So that's where I want to be here in this position, because now it allows me to have a post behind my butt. So when my opponent pushes into me, I can push back. And what it does is it protects this leg. Right now, for Sean to pass, I know he wants to try and get to this leg. And if he gets there, he's going to be able to start his passing game. I don't want that to happen. My left hand is going to be at choking depth as always, and I want to try and keep it a little bit under his chin. Sean knows that if he goes back to his right side, to my weak, right, I can start to make the collar drags, and then that's going to be a problem, right? So when I'm in this position, this is going to be my basic starting point. I want the cross grip here, and I want to be able to always use my right hand when Sean reaches with his left to control. And now I can start to get into any of the guards I want to. I can play butterfly guard here. I can start to go back to other guards, okay? But this is basically, from this sit-up guard position, this is where I want to be. I'm not really worried about him controlling that leg right now. I can give that to him, but I want to make sure that I'm in a position where he has to hunt for this leg and it's far away from him. And even when he reaches like that, it becomes an easy sweep. We'll get into that later, okay? The second range is going to be a little bit tighter when you guys, maybe you fought, he starts passing your guard here, right? And now you're in this position and you start to push away and sit up, okay? This is going to be your other, your middle range for your butterfly guard. Our chests are close together, but my back is off the mat, okay? That allows me to have a lot of momentum when I make sweeps. There are tons and tons of ways to make butterfly sweeps. This is your old school way here, right? Where you punch in here and I got my angle and I make sure my head is on this side. That doesn't necessarily work for me because in real time, I'm too slow to get there. So to try and get surgical with that doesn't really help me. A lot of times what happens is I wind up with an overhook and I just reach for the elbow, okay? So this is basically where I'm gonna stay for the mid-range. This is my starting point. And then when Sean starts to try and move, I can either make my attacks or again, I can start to get back to my closed guard or any number of other guards from that spot. But I do prefer an overhook there because it's easier for me to get to. There are pros and cons to it. And I'm not gonna try and get surgical with the wrist. I'm trying to push the elbow. That gives me a lot of openings for butterfly guard, and it gives me a lot of ways to get back to other guards. The third range generally is gonna be when my opponent's got me totally flattened out here, but I still have my hooks in here, right? Depending on where his head is. I can make lots of sweeps from here. I can also start to try and push my opponent away and sit up, get back to that middle range game that we talked about a second ago, right? But in this position here, I gotta keep my hooks sticky, and I wanna make sure that my opponent doesn't dominate one of my knees and start to pass. That's what I'm trying to make sure it doesn't happen. Those are just your basic 3 ranges of the butterfly guard, guys.